And now, Mike's Thoughts. Man Hour Nation, every morning, every night, every show, we start off with some shocked news of the day. And today is no different. And my shocked news of the day are basically just me ranting and raving for little to no reason whatsoever, just to get the people going, right? This is the NFL game schedule. Okay, so the schedule officially releases Wyatt, tomorrow afternoon, or it's like tomorrow at 8 p.m. So when we're going live tomorrow, the NFL schedule will, quote, fully be out. Well, correct. The NFL, they have this marketing thing basically broke down to a science, right? They've been giving us a little dabble here, a little bit of dabble there, and now we know there's a Week 10 matchup versus the Cowboys versus the Patriots. Mike McCarty is going back to Lambeau Field the first time since getting fired.
Packers.
NFL, I want your marketing guy on my side. Like, how can I bring your marketing dude or your marketing girl over to the Man Hour so people can literally be talking about this 24/7, 365 days a year? You guys gave us the international games like on Saturday, and then you're like, oh, we're going to tease you with some Week 2 Monday Night Football games. It's a double hitter. It is the, what is it? It's the Titans and the Bills and it's like the Chiefs and somebody else, right? Like, it's just like.
And the Bills, and I know that the Bills and who is it?
It is the Bills versus Titans, and then the Kansas City Chiefs. I think it's the Chargers, maybe. Like it is. Oh,
the Eagles, because
yeah.
A.J. Brown is playing as well. Remember?
Yeah, it's just like
A.J. Brown will be playing the same day as the Texans, but not.
Stop pissing me off. Give me all of it or none of it. God damn it, Wyatt! Like
here we go.
I'm a very needy person, Wyatt. I cannot just take a foot rub, right? I need a full body massage with a happy ending. And right now, the NFL is just sliding their finger through my big toe and say, ooh, you like that big boy? You like that big boy? I'm like, yes, I want some more, daddy. And then all of a sudden it's like, bada bing, bada boom.
Actually.
What? You've known me long enough, Wyatt. You know how this works?
I have family members watching this.
Hey, Nana told me to tell you this, that I am still her favorite.
She did not.
No matter.
I know she didn't.
No matter how much you suck up, I am the favorite. But guys, my morning rant here is NFL. Stop teasing me. Like, I really cannot wait for 24 hours. We know you guys had the schedule back in freaking April. We know you guys probably already have next year's schedule. Just give it to us. Just give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. Right? As the what is the name of that song? They're like, give it to me, baby. Man, pretty fly for a white guy. Who sings that song, Wyatt? I don't know. But anyways, guys.
Well, listen to this real quick.
Yeah.
Last 7 matchups between the Packers and the Cowboys in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
December 15, 2013, Packers win 36-37. December 14, divisional round, Packers win 26-21. December 13, 2015, Packers win 28-7.
Yeah.
This October 16th, 2016, Cowboys win 30-16. So it's 3-1. 2016 divisional. October 8th, 2017, October 6th, 2019, Packers win. 34-31, 35-31, and 34-24. A lot of 35 and 34s in that.
That's
wow.
a lot of big scores. So basically what you're telling me are the Cowboys are due, Wyatt. Is that what you're telling me? The Cowboys are due.
We won 3 in a row, then they won 1, then we won 3 in a row, then they won, and now it's I guess you could say they're due, but then again, they are the Cowboys, and where's it at? It is at
Lambeau. Mike McCarty's going to Lambeau for the first time since getting fired.
I don't know. Actually, I would say Aaron Rodgers is undefeated in AT&T Stadium, isn't he?
It's not at AT&T Stadium. It's at Lambeau Field. Mike McCarty's going to Lambeau Field.
I know. I'm just saying, like, he's undefeated there.
Right.
I think our one loss was actually at Lambeau.
Okay.
So
well, give me 1,000 on the Cowboys.
No, I'll still take the Packers.
All right.
We're still gonna be. No, I'm not that worried about it.
Cue that intro.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. Why I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know, they coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that that's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs. You know what's going on. Man, now we're at the dog, no LA. We the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers. Go.
And what's up, Man Hour Nation? Welcome to the Man Hour. Michael Buckcoster here with the Man Hour. Obviously, I said Man Hour 4 times before I said anything else. That's kind of weird. But anyways, head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page. Check out the blog section, guys. We just hired a brand new writer. Got some Dallas Cowboys blogs rolling for you guys. So check that out. manhourradio.com. Click on the blog section. And guys, we were giving you 5 to 7 blogs a day. A lot of content happening over there at Man Hour. A lot of good stuff happening as well. If you guys are new here, consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon if you're on youtube.com/Man Hour. But let me officially welcome the man, the lift, the measure, my right-hand man @_Wyatt on the old Twitter machine. What's up, Wyatt?
Nothing much, man. What's going on? I had class today. Let's see, what did I do? I had class today, then came back here. Oh, I made burgers today. Burgers were delicious.
Was that on camera?
Was what on camera? Like the burgers?
Yeah. Did you cook on camera again? You know, last night you cooked on camera.
Oh, no. That was not. I just made burgers for dinner. No. That was yesterday. That was just for a project, and not even for a project. I was just helping out the film suits yesterday, but that was a cool experience. But no, my cooking today was actually cooking. I actually got to use heat because yesterday I didn't. So today I actually got to use heat, and I made some pretty awesome burgers. So I did that. I played a round of Fortnite with Nikki's brother, and we won, by the way. And then that was hopped on here. Yeah,
there we go. That's a great afternoon. Speaking of getting heat on, Damien is in the chat already talking shit about my man Mike McCarty, saying he cannot control the game. And then I replied, there's no need to control the game when you have Dak the Great. I mean, like, come on. Dak is going to just walk over the Green Bay Packers week 10, baby. He is going to give the ball to Zeke at least 35 times just to rub it in Aaron Rodgers' face. Like, look, I can run the ball. Ha, 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 ha. Right, Wyatt? Wyatt's already pissed off. Wyatt's already pissed off. But, guys, we do got a great show for you lined up. We're going to break down the AFC South. That's the Colts, Tennessee Titans, Jaguars, and then the Houston Texans as well. Wyatt's going to give us his draft grades for each one of those teams. We're going to implement a new game tonight called If and Then. We got Weddle coming up here in hour number 2. But first things first, Wyatt, we have to start the show off with some good sports talk, some good NFL talk, and some breaking news that has sparked the NFL interest, that has sparked the Fins Nation, #Fins Up, right? They added another running back. Sony Michel has signed a 1-year deal officially with the Miami Dolphins. That gives him now, Wyatt, 7 running backs and 2 fullbacks in the backfield. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's only 11 players on the offense, so all 9 running backs can't play at the same time. Like, am I right?
No, they cannot. I do agree with you. I mean, they got Chase Edmonds, they've got Raheem Mostert, and just whenever you think that's good, they went ahead Sony Michel. They've also got Myles Gaskin. I mean, and that kind of ticks me off, honestly, because three of those 4 guys are all could be RB1s in the league. So now they're just now they're not, like Myles Gaskins is not going to get that many touches this year, and he's an incredible running back. He's an RB1 in this league.
Yeah.
And Sony Michel is an RB1/2. He's not really a 1. So that one, I don't mind him being, not a starter. But Raheem Mostert is an RB1. Are you kidding me? All last year, he was hurt, and the year before that, he was incredible. And even last year, whenever he did play, he played really, really well. He's super fast. He's elusive. He can catch out of the backfield. And same with Chase Edmonds. Chase Edmonds is an RB1. There's just so many running backs. I don't like that at all. Like, I get it. These guys get hurt, and running backs get hurt often. And especially Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds, and Myles Gaskins. They all get hurt a lot. Same with Sony Michel.
Right.
But it's just Oh man, and they got Lynn Bowden on the team too, and I know he's listed as a wide receiver, but God, he plays some running back too
and
So
quarterback.
there's no way he's going to be playing running back this year at all. There's no way.
Yeah. So the only thing that I could think of logically is when we saw this signing, Wyatt, was it the last year that the Baltimore Ravens went through like 7 running backs in like 2 weeks? Like it was an ACL. You get an ACL tear. You get an ACL tear, and obviously that was just kind of a freak thing, right? Like that doesn't happen like all the time. And truth be told, all 7 running backs will probably not make it past the second week of preseason games. So with that being said, there is going to be a good running back on the free agent market once preseason hits there, Wyatt. And I'm kind of wondering, who is it going to be? Is it going to be Myles Gaskin, or is it going to be Sony Michel? And truth be told, there are a few teams out there that could use some services of a pretty good running back, a number 2 running back per se. And I don't want to toot our horn by like anything, but the Kansas City Chiefs could definitely add some depth into the running back spot there, even though like I think they have 3 right now, but I'll be happy to take Sony Michel off of their hands, or Myles Haskins even. So it just like this signing, there are some smart signings and there's some dumb signings, and there's some signings that you're like, what? This is one of those what ones. Like, yeah, he's a good player, but you already have XYZ. It is like dumping your wife that is a 9 for dumping for a girl that is a 9 that has 8 kids. Like you're like it just doesn't make sense to me.
Oh my God, I forgot too. They have Salvin Ahmed, who when he played last year, he got in for a couple weeks because Gaskins got hurt and played incredibly.
Right.
They have 6 running backs who could be the starter. Five running backs who could be the starter week 1 for this team. That is,
it's stupid.
I'd say it's more like 4, but there's 6 that are technically capable. But there's 4 in my eyes. There's 4 real 100% candidates to be the RB1 this year. That's insane to me. I just don't understand that. That is very odd.
What's up, Drew?
I think the main thing that I kind of latch onto here and wonder is there already an injury in this group? Now, obviously, we know Raheem Mostert was hurt last year, and he hasn't 100% probably come back. I believe he's still at this moment questionable for OTAs and all that stuff. But that kind of worries me. That makes me wonder, like, is there something we don't know about with Gaskin, or is there something we don't know about with Mostert or Edmonds that it's, there is an injury that's flown under the radar? Because it's just like, what else do you need I guess you could say, like, it's better to have something and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Right.
I guess this applies for that theory, but it's like, God, let's say Chase Edmonds is RB1 next year, okay? And let's say he doesn't get hurt. Hey, you're just going to pay Myles Gaskin, Raheem Mostert, and Sony Michel and Salvin Ahmed to just chill on the bench? Is that really what we're doing here? That's just, I don't know. That's just my thing. It's weird. And like I said, they got Lynn Bowden as well.
Yeah.
Who, there's no way Lynn Bowden plays running back at all this year. There's no way.
Yeah.
If he plays running back this year, I will be dumbfounded.
Yeah.
It's just, he can't.
So the only thing that I can think of is they sign a player like Sony Michel because they want to trade some of the other running backs that they have. So maybe they're looking for a second, third round pick for a couple of their tailbacks, because hell, the new let's think of some teams that could possibly use a running back. New York Jets,
Really?
New York Giants.
A lot of teams.
Yeah.
Well, Jets probably not. They just got Breece Hall and they've already got Michael Carter. So I think
True.
They're probably good.
Seahawks could use a backup. Yeah.
Seahawks could definitely use an RB2 because Chris Carson, has he even had one single fully healthy season in the league?
And I think they cut him too, to be honest with you.
Oh, obviously whenever he's out there and he's playing, he's a dog, but he's never really been able to fully stay healthy.
Right.
So, there's a couple of spots I could even see like the Bears, maybe.
Yeah.
I can see the Bears or Minnesota's already got their RB2 locked down and their RB1's locked down
Houston
too.
Texans. come to
Houston
mind.
could use one. The Colts could possibly use, unless if Naheem, well, no, Naheem Hines is still there. Jacksonville probably could if ETN or James Robinson go down, or if they just decide to not run the ball with James Robinson again this year for some weird reason. They have they have a all-pro running back, caliber running back, and they just don't hand him the ball. That doesn't make any sense, but that's beside the point. It's Jacksonville, so
yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't like it. I didn't
running
realize
backs.
that when
Stupid.
Yeah, I didn't.
Go ahead.
I didn't realize this last night. Whenever I saw that they signed him, I saw it last night, and I was like, "Oh, okay, they got Sony. That's cool." And I didn't even think about it till just now. Like, wow.
Yeah.
They have a lot of running backs
on the roster as of May 11th. They have 7 running backs and 2 fullbacks on the roster. So
that's so stupid.
Yeah,
that's so stupid.
Plus,
and they've got it.
Yeah, plus they got 3 receivers that they're going to be running a lot of trick plays with, right? With the reverses and the 1-yard passes. Yeah,
that's literally what I was about to say. Plus, they've got Jalen Waddle, who they use in the end around game sometimes. Same with Tyreek Hill, you use him in the end around game with his speed. And then you've got Lynn Bowden Jr., who's like a hybrid wide receiver running back thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, God, this is gonna be people joke about the Ravens running the ball a lot. This team is really gonna run the ball this year.
Or does that just show you how much faith they have in Tua? They're like, hey, Tua, we know you got all these weapons on the outside, but here's 7 running backs. Don't throw the ball ever again.
Yeah, and they got Teddy as well. So they've got somebody behind him. They're like, hey man, if you don't play good, there's a guy behind you that's super hungry and is a really good quarterback and never really got a good shot.
Yeah.
He's sitting right behind you. Oh, and on top of that, he's a local guy. He's a Miami guy too. So
you're overlooking the obvious answer at quarterback, and that's Skylar Thompson. That's the obvious answer there, Wyatt. But
it is not.
Speaking of obvious, Tom Brady has obviously signed a great deal with Fox Sports. Once he retires, he will be the lead analyst, making more money in his 10-year contract with Fox Sports than he has made his whole entire playing career. So why in the hell are we paying these TV personalities so much money? Tony Romo is making more money than the highest paid player in the NFL. Tom Brady's getting ready to make bank. Was it $376 million over the next 10 years or something? And it is absolutely crazy. Are you okay with Tom Brady making this much money, being a lead analyst on Fox Sports when he hasn't even called a game yet?
Yeah, here's the deal. Tom Brady is what they call the GOAT. And if Tom Brady wanted to go and be the McDonald's CEO for $375 million, you find me one person on earth who's going to tell Tom Brady no.
Me.
If they've got $375 million to be able to spend, and you can get a guy like Tom Brady, especially on a football broadcast, yeah, you're totally doing it. I mean, the money's ridiculous. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that like the money's not a ridiculous number and that, it's not crazy that he made more money in this contract than he did his entire 22-year NFL career and on. Like I'm not going to sit here and tell you that's not crazy. It totally is. And it blows my mind. The situation that, that it's in right now. But it's Tom Brady. Like, are we going to tell him no, that that he's not worth that money now? We can't. We can't. If Tony Romo is making the money that Tony Romo is making, right, and Troy Aikman is making the money that Troy Aikman is making, Tom Brady should make triple what they make, and he does. I believe it's probably quadruple, actually.
Okay, so here's the thing here, Wyatt. Tony Romo and Troy Aikman both have been calling games. They are really damn good. Yeah. I love listening to Tony Romo in the booth. Just the way he dissects the play, and you can actually learn the game of football listening to Tony Romo. Now, this is basically saying that we are going to draft a rookie that hasn't played football in 7 years, and we're going to give him $100 million and start him over Lamar Jackson. That is basically what is happening with Tom Brady and Fox Sports right now. They are solely 100% baking that Tom Brady is going to nail it. I hope Tom Brady is just as bad as Joe Buck is. Just as annoying as
You don't
Joe,
like Joe
Buck
Buck?
is. Like, I mean, Joe Buck is a good analyst, right? But everybody hates him.
best.
Everybody hates Joe Buck. He is
I don't know why.
so biased. Well, because he's biased. And
He's not biased. People just hear their local broadcasters puffing up their teams all year, and then Joe gets out there and doesn't kiss their ass, and they're all like, "This Joe guy is such a homer."
yeah, I mean, whatever. Joe Buck is terrible. No. Chris Collinsworth. That's who I'm going to compare Tom Brady to. I would rather listen to Chris Collinsworth than Tom Brady. I hope Tom Brady falls literally flat on his face and he fires him after the 3 games. Do you?
It's not gonna happen.
Let's
Tom
talk
Brady,
about.
He'll be just fine.
So people said the same thing about Greg Olson. Did you ever hear him call a game? Did you hear Greg Olson call a game?
Human being to ever even look at a football, though. That's the difference.
No, he's not.
Greg Olson is not a quarterback. Greg Olson's just awkward. You know, Greg Olson is just, he's just, you know, I don't know how to explain it. He just, his on-camera presence just really wasn't there. I'm sure he's a really nice guy in person, and I'm sure he's this incredible person. He got like a couple Walter Payton awards while he was in the league. Like, I'm sure Greg Olson is a great person. I'm positive of it, actually. But he was just a terrible broadcaster.
Yeah. And
That's what everybody thought.
And I hope Tom Brady is terrible too. I really hope he is.
Tom is terrible.
I really hope he is.
I'm excited to see what Tom does. There's no way he's going to be terrible. Like, if he is terrible, it will surprise me so much. I would be like, I can't even explain to you how shocked that I would be if it didn't work. I mean, you got to think he's already got some TV experience with Man in the Arena. He does those pro AM golfs all the time where he's mic'd up and they talk the entire time they're golfing.
But that is him being himself.
Golf matches and stuff like that. That is what broadcasting is. You're yourself. You got to be yourself and just talk football.
Okay. We will see. So let's address some of these comments here. Damian says this is like LeBron James' Nike contract in high school. So the difference between that is,
a great deal too.
Yeah, I mean the difference between that and Tom Brady, I feel, is LeBron James isn't doing totally something different in getting that Nike contract, right? Like, he wasn't playing high school track and then going into
playing hockey.
Yeah, like he wasn't playing hockey or track and then going into the NBA. Like, that's kind of how I'm comparing Tom Brady going from football into broadcasting. It is something totally new. So, I mean, at least for LeBron James, we saw what his on-court presence was in high school, and he definitely lived up to the hype. I mean, no doubt about it. He is the greatest player.
He's got the second biggest shoe selling company for Nike ever.
Yeah.
Number 2 ever. That Nike deal ended up totally working out for him and Nike both. They both made too much money off of that. And like I said, he ended up being second to the most iconic and greatest shoe brand of all time in Jordan.
Yeah, which is highly
also a Nike affiliate. Which
is overpriced and really overrated. Jordans are so ugly.
Yes.
Jordans are so ugly.
No, but no.
Yes.
Have you ever seen the Gamma Blue 11s?
I'd rather get the Shaq shoes from Walmart.
Shaq shoes from Walmart are nothing to sneeze at now. All right, they're those things are reliable. All right, you can go play some street ball in those things.
Exactly.
And really, you
Jordans,
can jack those things up and they're still going to work.
Jordans, you spend $200 and you put them in the shelf and you never touch them again.
I would wear Jordans for like fashion stuff. I wouldn't wear it for like playing basketball.
Oh.
I would never wear a pair of Jordans on the court. Never.
So, and then Damon,
even Mike said you shouldn't do that. Remember, Mike had like his feet started bleeding after wearing the ones in the last game at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
His feet were literally dripping in blood when he took them out of the shoes because it had like messed with his toenails so much and like rubbed the sides of his feet raw. Like, I don't recommend anybody ever plays basketball in a pair of Jordans. That's a horrible idea.
Buying a pair of Jordans is a horrible idea, but that's besides the point. So, another comment comes in and says Miami has 3 running backs on IR right now. So that still gives them a total of 4 on the roster right now that are healthy. That's still a lot. So most teams only carry 3. So, I mean, at some point, somebody's got to go, I think, right, Wyatt?
Yeah, I'm looking this up. I don't think they have 3 running backs on IR. They have 2 running backs on IR. They have Alec Engold, who's their fullback, I guess if you count him as a running back, and Patrick Laird. Do you know who Patrick Laird is?
No, but I don't. But I do have a layer under my house, if that counts.
Yeah. So Patrick Laird is on the IR list, and he does not matter. And Raheem Mostert is. So Raheem Mostert, we said that earlier. He got hurt, and he's still not 100% yet. He's still questionable for OTAs. We don't know if he'll be back for OTAs, but yeah, I mean, really, the only relevant running back that they have that's hurt is Mostert. That's it, and he'll be back for the season.
If you hope so. Moment. Maybe he'll get traded back to San Francisco, huh? Second round pick. Anyways, speaking of being ready for OTAs here, your man there, probably the best fantasy running back out there, Nick Chubb, squatted 675 pounds today at his local high school. Actually, at his high school. You know, there are a few players that are out there that are doing too much, right? Like, at what point is squatting too much weight you're just showing off at this point, right? I mean, Nick Chubb, 675 pounds, dude, you're literally just showing off at this point. Just stop it, right?
That guy's a freak, though. But yeah, I don't know. I would be more nervous if I was a coach or an owner of the Cleveland Browns, if like he could hurt himself, doing 1 pound or one rep maxes like that. But I mean, if he's doing it safely and he's 100% physically capable of doing it, I mean, I'm kind of fine with it. I think it's kind of cool, but I don't know. At the same time, you just got to be really careful because, I mean, can you imagine your knee blows out in the middle of that squat and you miss the season and possibly even lose your next contract because of it, or maybe your career ends. Like 600 pounds is a lot of weight, but I also will say, have you seen Nick Chubb's thighs? That guy can lift a lot of weight. So I think it's just kind of one of those, like, if you can do it, go for it, I guess. If you're capable of doing it safely, and if you're capable of lifting that weight safely, I guess just go for it. I couldn't do that.
Why?
I couldn't. I would snap and just fold under that bar. Are you kidding me?
Let's put this in perspective, okay? Zen right now, you're like our boy Zen, right, from Floyd, playing at Ohio State, which he's a backup left tackle this year, starting on PAT as of right now. Good for him. Zen right now is 320 pounds. He can literally put 2.5 Zens on his shoulders and carry him down the field and not break a sweat.
Yeah, that's.
Zen is 6'8", 320 pounds. Take 2 of those, put them on each shoulder, and he still has room for one more guy. Like, come on. What in the hell?
Oh my God. That's insane. That's actually crazy. Human beings should not be able to do that.
You know what? Like, back in college, I was pretty physically fit, right? And the highest I ever squatted was 405, and I thought I was a beast, right? I'm like, I'm 220 squatting 405, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Nick Chubb is 220 squatting 6'7", 775. He said, hold my beer. Where's your wife? I'm taking her too.
He goes, what was your weight again? You said 4 what?
405 was my highest. I had 4 plates on
Yeah, he said 405. That's chump change. Grab me the.
That's my warm-up, bitch.
Throw on 3 extra plates on each side.
It's just, oh my God,
what?
It's stupid.
That should not be legal.
Yeah.
Lifting 600 pounds, that's Jesus. And he weighs 220. That's, oh my God. That is almost 400 pounds over his weight.
It really makes me feel like I'm being lazy in life because I literally have not touched a weight in probably 5 or 6 years, right? Like, I retired from playing ball and I have not touched a weight since, right? Well, we are going on this beach vacation, right? At the end of June, and Cindy wants to get our beach body on, right? So I got this rowing machine, right? I rode for about 5 minutes, and I thought I was going to fucking die. I'm like, and here's Nick Chubb 675 pounds. Jesus. I feel like a piece of shit. Drew's like, I squatted 455 in high school. Bitch. That's a lot of weight, Drew. Easy
That
there,
is.
big boy. Easy.
That is.
Slow it down, baby.
Highest I ever got was freshman year. I got to 350.
Yeah.
That was my.
I did drink 45 5-ounce Sprites at one time, so that's 455, right?
I guess.
Wyatt is really
checks
confused.
with me.
So, speaking of NFL and players and whatnot, Wyatt, 2022 seems to be a very interesting season here. There's a lot of happening. There's a lot of good draft picks, and really a lot of teams nailed the draft, which we'll be talking about the AFC South draft here coming up in just about an hour. But who is the player that you are most rooting for in 2022?
Are you saying like from this draft or just like in the
just
league?
Player in general, any player in the NFL? Who do you want to see succeed in 2022?
This is not going to be a surprise to many, but Aaron Rodgers.
Don't be a homer.
If I had to choose, no. Christian Watson, no. Gosh, the biggest player I want to see succeed. I want to say Lamar. There's a big part of me that wants to say Lamar because I really like Lamar a lot. And then there's also, oh man, I'm just sticking with Louisville quarterbacks here. Teddy Bridgewater. No. That's so tough. I am trying to come up with the right answer here. I guess I would say somebody I want to see succeed this year would be, I would like to see Christian McCaffrey stay healthy this year and have a good season, and or Saquon Barkley, because he's been through the ringer, and I feel like
right.
Even when CMC was healthy, at least he was still putting up incredible numbers. Like, he wasn't healthy very often, but when he was the best player on the football field. So obviously that was a huge confidence boost for him. But Saquon this last year was just hurt all year and just didn't look like Saquon. So I would say I would love to see. Yeah, I'd love to see Saquon.
That would be very, very intriguing to see, him, because he got hurt week 2 last season, right? I can't remember. Was it week 2, week 3? Yeah. So he was out. The player that I want to see succeed most this season, and I'm not going to be a homer or pick the obvious, but I want to see Jared Goff have a great season. I want to see. I mean, obviously the Lions are doing great things there. They're adding pieces. They got the culture intact, and basically Jared Goff is like a stepping stone for the Lions for their next guy, right? So I would like to see him back in that Super Bowl form. Like, was it a fluke that they got to the Super Bowl? Was it a fluke that he happened to throw 4,500 like 100 yards like that season? I just want to see him be successful, and I want to see the Detroit Lions win 13 games this season, so that I can get that monkey off of my back, and they can win the division, so I can finally be right about one time. Shit, like, come on, Lions. But yeah, Damon says he wants to see Jamar Chase take the next step. Well, what is the next step for Chase? I mean, he was the rookie of the year. He had the most catches. Like, just him being close to his numbers his rookie year, like, that's the next step, right? I mean, shit.
Yeah, his rookie year numbers I thought were just incredible.
They were the best ever, right?
Yeah,
better than Randy Moss.
He was the fourth statistically. He was the fourth best wide receiver in the league. Yeah, I think it was fourth. It was top 5 for sure. So, I mean, yeah, I would love to see him continue to improve. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I'm trying to think of it. I would like to see Devonta Smith do something, because I feel like he had a good year, but he had a quiet year last year.
Yeah, a kind of flew under the radar.
To see. Yeah, I'm excited to see Jalen Waddle as well, possibly.
How about Jimmy G? Are we secretly rooting for Jimmy G too? Like,
I'll never root for Jimmy G.
Why not?
After what he did when he beat us and what he said. He was like walking off field, F the Packers, something like that. I'm like, yeah. So I refuse to root for Jimmy G, but I mean, if Jimmy G did something cool, that'd be nice. You know.
How about this? Who is a player that you want to see succeed the less? Like, you hope he just has a down year and gets fired.
We're gonna just pray on somebody's downfall now.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Jimmy G, it is, huh?
It sucks because I don't want Justin Fields to do bad, but I want Justin Fields to go somewhere else. Because I love Justin Fields. I hate the Bears. So obviously I would love for Matt Eberflus, Ryan Poles, and company to wet the bed and everything they did that Bears fans were losing their minds over.
Yeah. Combs.
Yeah. I have a friend named Ethan who's a diehard Bears fan as well, and they're all losing it. All Bears fans are like, oh my God, we got this guy. He's going to change the culture. And you know what he did? Nothing. They did absolutely nothing. They signed nobody. They drafted nobody. The only receiver that they gave Fields to work with from this draft was a 26-year-old out of Tennessee. They gave him nothing. He's basically a return specialist. They got Josh Cribbs. That's what they got. Josh Cribbs, who is an incredible returner and just a average, maybe a little above average wide receiver. And I don't even think that Jones will be a above average wide receiver. I think that's he's not. He's got some upside, but not a lot. He's already 26. He's already getting a little too old. So, like I said, I'll just pray on the downfall of the Chicago Bears. How about that?
There you go, Chicago Bears. It is. All right, guys, we are up against our first break for the night. On the other side of the break, Wyatt, we're going to introduce the new game. It's called If and Then. So let's flash back to science fair, fifth grade, right? We're going to give us a hypothesis. It has to be an if-then statement. So basically, Wyatt, I give you a if statement, and then bada bing, we give the then statement, right? So pretty cut and dry, pretty self-explanatory. So you guys can play along in the chat as well over at youtube.com/man. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and like button. Share us with a couple friends. We'll be right back after this beautiful message from me.
Once I'm home from work and relaxing,
I watch Man Hour while doing dishes.
In bed, hiding from the wife and kids.
what do you do when your husband and kid are obsessed with the Man Hour? You watch it with them.
Watch the Man Hour. Check it out.
Have you ever wanted to go to Vegas to see the NFL draft? Well, now you can. Simply head over to youtube.com/manhour, click on that join button, become a $5.99 member or higher, and you get free entry. Simple as that. So head over to youtube.com/manhour and hit that join button. You won't regret it.
You're watching Man Hour. Hit that like button, baby.
Man Hour Nation, it's your boy BC Beastie Brandon Combs coming to you with a special message. 22 veterans a day commit suicide. Now, that's 22 too many. And here at the Man Hour, we want to bring awareness to this. Our brothers and sisters deserve our support and our help. With the Take 22 merch, it's a small opportunity to show our appreciation and support to our veterans and take a small step to ending veteran suicide and treating PTSD properly. Every dollar spent on our Take 22 merch will be donated to the cause. So Man Hour Nation, rise up and show your support.
Man Hour Nation brought to you by Brooks Roofing and Siding. Contact them at 812-868-7663 or online at brooksroofingin.com. BrooksRoofingandSiding.com. Brooks Roofing and Siding, protection you need when nature strikes.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckheim along with the Wyatt Williams. You can follow us both on Twitter at manhour_Buck, and then of course at _Wyatt Williams. I said at, and I knew what I said, but whatever. It is what it is. Wyatt, welcome back to the show. And Wyatt, guys, during break had a excellent question. Does a cashew come in a shell? Wyatt, does cashew come in a shell?
I don't know. Does it?
It's a peanut.
It's not a peanut. A peanut's a peanut.
Then what is a cashew?
It's a cashew. It's a different kind of nut.
Are you saying blush you or cashew? Like, I'll cash you outside, boy. Anyways, guys, we are going to introduce the new game tonight. It is if and then, so it is pretty cut and dry. I give Wyatt a if statement, and then he follows it up with a then. So, Wyatt, are you ready for the first ever, what's it called? The premiere of the if-then segment that we have happening.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right, so, Wyatt, first question. If Desmond Ridder starts for the Atlanta Falcons this season, then what?
I'm about ready to just poop this first one. Like, people are expecting this, like, huge answer, but I'm going to give the lamest answer ever. You ready for this?
Ready.
Then he won the starting job. I just think it's a 50-50 shot. I don't think, like, I don't want to say, like, oh, then Marcus Mariota broke his neck or something like that. Like, I kind of think it might be his job already. I mean, they brought in Mariota, and Mariota might start for the first couple of games or something like that. But I don't know, if you get a quarterback who's as promising as Desmond Ridder is, I don't know. I just don't think.
You gave the most Wyatt answer ever.
Right.
If Desmond Ridder starts, then he is a starter. He'd be a mark. Get out of here. So Beastie says they are 0-17, and Beastie, I am right there with you on this fact. There is a reason why he dropped to the third round in this year's draft, is because he's obviously not an NFL ready quarterback. Right. There's a lot of room for improvement. There's room to grow. If Desmond Ridder starts this season, then the Atlanta Falcons are tanking this season. That's right. They are tanking. You are only going to see 2 to 3 wins tops, and they're hoping for a top 5 pick in 2023 NFL draft. That's the only reason why Desmond Ridder is going to start, Wyatt, is if they're going to tank and just want to lose a lot of games. Hey, maybe Kevin Ridley can be paired up with another great receiver next season, and they all can bet, right? That's basically what it comes down to. Damon says, if Desmond Ridder starts for the Atlanta Falcons, then Kyle Pitts is the number 1 fantasy tight end. That's a guy like that, yeah.
Yes.
Because there'll be a lot of checkdowns, right? Wasn't Kyle Pitts up in the fantasy rankings anyways last season with Matt Ryan? He was top 5, right? So, that definitely wouldn't be a very big stretch. So, Damon, I definitely like that a lot. Of course, he's got to compete with Travis Kelce, and Travis Kelce has a lot going on for him this particular year. So, next one here, Wyatt. This one is kind of near and dear to our heart since we're giving the AFC South draft grades tonight. If the Houston Texans make the playoffs, then
God came down from the skies and killed all other 31 teams.
What's that country song? God bless Texas with his own hands, right?
Yeah. If the Texans make the playoffs this year, then that must mean that they allowed all 32 teams into the NFL playoffs this year.
Oh, you are absolutely ridiculous, Wyatt. If the Houston Texans make the playoffs, then they made a trade for Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is on that team. Baker Mayfield leads them to the playoffs as a wild card because they're not going to beat the Colts out for the division whatsoever. As I do like, what's the kid's name? Mills, right? I do like him, but Baker Mayfield's hands and feet better than him. So if the Houston Texans make the playoffs, then they picked up Baker Mayfield, baby. That's exactly right, Wyatt. Combs says Wyatt keeps putting nuts in his mouth. Yeah.
Cashews are addicting. They're
Well,
so good.
wait till break, Wyatt. Sheesh, you are getting Combs all worked up over there. I mean, he's 40. He's going to have to take that blue pill eventually. So people in the chat, Combs is saying, if the Houston Texans make the playoffs, then I'll pay each of you $100.
Oh,
Okay. Mr. High Roller there, $100 means shit. I can buy a tank of gas. Drew
you know
says,
what? I just became a Houston Texans fan.
buy that hat, buy that jersey, right? Drew says, if the Houston Texans make the playoffs, then they brought down angels to play the promised land. Angels in Houston, right? So angels in the infield. And then Combs says he is alone in the hotel room while Wyatt is putting nuts in his mouth. So, wow, that took a left turn quick. Welcome to Man Hour, guys. Live, raw, and uncut sports talk here. Only on Belly Up Sports TV, on Apple TV and Roku TV. The next one here, Wyatt, the next if statement, if the Baltimore Ravens go from worst to first in the AFC North, then what?
If the Baltimore Ravens go from worst to first in the AFC North, then Lamar Jackson must have had an MVP year. Had to have. I mean, that's whenever he had his MVP caliber year, they were 13-3, was it?
Yeah, so I believe so.
So if the Baltimore Ravens go from worst to first in their division, then Lamar had to have had a wonderful year.
Okay. Answer me this question: is Huntley still on that roster, or did he sign with the Cleveland Browns?
Don't do this. Do not do this.
So
yes, Huntley is still on that.
So
roster.
Huntley is still on the roster. Okay.
I think he is at least.
Beastie says Lamar is MVP again. So you and Combs are on the same page. If the Baltimore Ravens go worst to first in the NFC North, that's because they picked up Baker Mayfield. That is the only way they're going to go from worst to first. If the Baltimore Ravens pick up Baker Mayfield, they are a playoff caliber team. They are the best team in the AFC North, hands down. Think about this. Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr. is rumored about coming to Baltimore too. Hello, Cleveland Browns 2.0, baby. Didn't they make the playoffs with those three guys, Wyatt? Correct me if I'm wrong. But, yeah. Baker Mayfield to the Ravens, Landry Jones to the Ravens, and Odell Beckham Jr. with who's their running back right now that they signed last year that had a great season? What's his name though?
Gus Edwards had an all right season, and then they signed Mike Davis though. Mike Davis,
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
addition for them.
Yeah, hello, Baker Mayfield, Baltimore Ravens. He would look great in purple and black. I'm just putting it out there. Baker Mayfield. Okay, Damian comes out and says if the Baltimore Ravens go from worst to first in the NFC North, it's because Lamar Jackson leads the league in rushing. MVP, league rushing. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of seeing a theme here. Like, you guys are all banking on Lamar Jackson having a good season if they're able to get that first place in that division.
That's a tough division to win, too.
Is it the toughest in the league?
No, NFC West is.
You think so?
No way. Yeah, they got 3 Super Bowl contenders out there.
Who?
The Rams, who just won it.
Right.
The Cardinals, who were number 1 in the NFC the entire year.
False.
And then the 49ers, who just last year lost to the Rams in the NFC Championship game.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Did the Arizona Cardinals win a playoff game last season?
I don't think they did they?
Oh, no. I believe they got blown out by the Rams in the first round. They got that ass whooped, baby. How about this?
By the Super Bowl champs?
What did they do the last 7 games of the season? They started 11-0, right? What did they finish?
They didn't finish as good as they should have. I'm not saying that.
They finished 12-5.
For a long
they
time.
lost 5 of the final 6 games. Super Bowl champions, baby. Let's do it. All right, Wyatt. The next if and then.
I like this game. When you texted me yesterday about this.
Yeah.
I underestimated how good of a. I said this was a good idea, but I underestimated how good of a good idea this was. This is a good game. I like this.
Yeah, just as long as we don't get wide answers, then he's a starter. All right, so moving on to the next one. If the Kansas City Chiefs miss the playoffs, then what?
Patrick Mahomes broke his neck. Just if they've got Patrick Mahomes on their roster. Oh, we forgot about the AFC West.
Yeah,
as could be the toughest. The AFC West is the toughest division of football. Never mind. I thought it was the NFC West. I was totally wrong. I forgot about the AFC West because they just got all that star power. Yeah, I mean, even the Broncos are nice with it. The Raiders are now nice with it. The Chargers have always been nice with it, and same with the Chiefs. So we forgot about that team. But anyways, if the Kansas City Chiefs don't make the playoffs, then something must have happened injury-wise to Patrick Mahomes. If Patrick Mahomes is on the field, obviously they don't have Tyreek. That's a huge loss. I get that. But I still got Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
I mean, they just got Justin Reed on the defense to fill in whatever they lost for Tyrone Matthew. So I mean, they've got the defense is still there. You know, it's they've obviously never been known for their defense. They've also got Clyde Edwards-Helaire on offense. You know, so if they've got the weapons to where they're still going to make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, then what's the backup quarterback's name? Jordan was Tamayu or whatever.
Chad Henne, isn't it?
Is it Chad Henne?
Yeah. So no, it's not Chad. Yeah, it is Chad Henne. I'm pretty sure. But you are thinking Jordan Tamayu, the guy from the XFL. Right?
Yeah. But anyways, and I almost forgot. Yeah, no, I'm looking at their roster right now. Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. They've got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, CEH at RB1, Rojo at RB2. Rojo's a great running back. Juju Smith-Schuster, who, if he can get off TikTok, is a good wide receiver. They got Sky Moore. He is a speedster, just insane. They've also got McCole Hardman and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 2 speedsters. So 3 now in total. And then they've got Josh Gordon, who, when he can stay healthy and when he can not be suspended, is a great wide receiver. So then they got Travis Kelce, who is the best tight end in football.
Right.
Their offensive line looks nice. Their defense, they got George Karlaftis out of Purdue this year, Chris Jones on the defensive line, and Frank Clark. So they're going to have pressure in the quarterback's face. Then they've got a good defense as well. Yeah, no, even if Patrick Mahomes does get injured, Chad Henne might be able to carry this roster the rest of the way. I mean, Chad Henne is not a terrible backup by any means. I mean, obviously he's not, he's not what you're, hoping for. You're not going to be like, oh darn, Chad Henne's not starting this week.
So he's no Baker Mayfield. Is that what you're saying? Baker Mayfield to the Chiefs? No, I'm talking.
No.
So people in the chat, Combs says, if the Kansas City Chiefs miss the playoffs, then it is par for course because they're not making the playoffs. Okay.
What?
Damian says,
you cannot be in our chats, Combs, and say that. If you're going to say some nonsense like that, you have to get on this show. You can't make some crazy claim, some ridiculous bull crap like that, and not say that face to face with us. Good God. That's
Damian
terrible.
says, if the Chiefs miss the playoffs, then Andy Reid retires / is forced out. I didn't think about that. I mean, he is getting older. There is that head-to-head battle with Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid. Like, there's that friction, maybe.
If Eric Bieniemy, I've been thinking about. I just thought about that. Eric Bieniemy should just stay. Like everybody's always talking about every offseason. Oh, where's Eric Bieniemy gonna go? Oh no, Eric Bieniemy didn't get a job. Eric Bieniemy's probably like.
He's probably the coach in waiting.
Andy in the main office is either going to have a heart attack and die, or he's going to have to retire within the next 2 years. So this is my job.
Right.
So
next person comes in and says, if the Chiefs miss the playoffs, then they traded for Baker Mayfield. So I'm going to say,
yes.
If the Kansas City Chiefs miss the playoffs, it is because the Chargers and the Raiders have finally lived up to their hype because the LA Chargers arguably have a top 5 quarterback in Justin Herbert on their team, right? He was the 3rd rated quarterback last season as far as stats go. Derek Carr was number 6. At that Derek Carr to Devontae Adams connection happens like everybody thinks it is going to happen, right? Then they are going to be a very, very dangerous team. So with that being said, if the Kansas City Chiefs miss the playoffs, it is because the Raiders and the Chargers are just that damn good. Now, I expect the Kansas City Chiefs to take a step back this season, be 11-5, 11-6, that type of, frame there. But, that still might get you into the playoffs. So it is a very, very long stretch, but it is a very, very good possibility. So the next one here, Wyatt, there was a huge trade on draft night. Nobody was expecting this whatsoever. A.J. Brown to the Eagles. So if A.J. Brown gets 1,500 yards this season, then what?
If A.J. Brown gets 1,500 yards this season, then that must mean that Jalen Hurts finally got over those accuracy issues that he had. He's putting the ball on point because I think A.J. Brown is a guy who can get that. You've just got to get him the ball. That's the main thing, and that's really what the knock on Jalen Hurts has been this year is that he can't put the ball where it needs to be. His deep ball is subpar. Even his short ball is subpar. He doesn't throw with enough power. That's what everybody says. So if A.J. Brown gets 1,500 yards, then clearly either one of two things happen. Either he is more accurate or Gardner Minshew just said, hold my beer, and he did a little mullet flip and then just went crazy, and everybody is standing there with their pants down like, what just happened, So that's how.
Yeah, so the first comment in the chat here, if A.J. Brown gets 1,500 yards this season, then the Eagles win 6 games. Wow, that's kind of a stretch. So my answer is if A.J. Brown gets 1,500 yards this season, then the Eagles are the NFC favorites to win the Super Bowl. I think this team is going to be made or break through the legs and hands of A.J. Brown. If A.J. Brown is getting enough catches and enough, throw balls thrown at him to get 1,500 yards, they are doing good things. When a receiver has 1,500 yards, they're doing damn good things on the offensive side of the ball. The only thing that we could question is the defensive side, and the defense is really underrated, to be honest. I mean, that defense is probably top 13, top 12, defense in the league. So if they can just hold a team to 10 points, 17 points a game, and A.J. Brown is putting up 100 to 150 yards per game, good things are going to happen. So I do like that. So people in the chat says if A.J. Brown gets 1,500 yards this season, then the Eagles are playing from comeback wins. So a lot of comebacks. Possibility, I guess. I mean, what do you think about that? Do you think they're going to be coming back from a lot of comebacks?
Personally, I don't think that the Eagles are going to be down that much this year if they're as good as they're supposed to be. I guess they could have some comebacks. I've always kind of looked at it as a win. I don't really care how it gets there.
Right.
A lot of people are like, oh, well, they only won by a point. Well, you tell me in the win column, does a 1-point win or a 20-point win, does it change the one? Does it go to a different side or does it add a 2 or anything? No, it's always going to be just 1.
You're exactly right.
So that's kind of
maybe he was saying that. So kind of like that Kirk Cousins effect. Kirk Cousins got a lot of his yards when they're getting blown out, right? So maybe that's what he meant by that. They're down 40-10 going into the fourth, and they're just throwing the ball all over the place. So maybe that's where he'll get a lot of his mop up to duty. But I think if he does well, the Eagles are going to be a very, very dangerous team. So speaking of very, very dangerous here, Wyatt, this is the last question of the night before we head to our next break. If Cole Strange is a bust for the New England Patriots, then
then Patriots fans will be mad. I don't know. If Cole Strange is a bust, then clearly the Patriots way overreached for him, and he should have been a third or fourth rounder. I guess that's the best answer I can give without giving you a Wyatt answer of, oh, then he's a bust, So, or if Cole Strange is a bust, then he wasn't as good as his draft pick. That would have been a good one as well. That really
definitely hashtag waffle there. Yeah, that would have been perfect.
Yeah, that definitely would have got the blood pumping. But no, I mean, if Cole Strange is a bust, then then the Patriots clearly way overdrafted. Then they should have waited till pick 100 or after to take Cole Strange. Well, I don't think he's going to be a bust. I don't necessarily know if he's going to be a all pro. I don't know. I will say it's a very interesting pick, and I thought that from the beginning. Once they first picked him, I was like, wow.
So
he was out of left field.
He was projected to be a 3rd round pick, if not a 4th round pick, and obviously the Patriots selected him number 1 overall. Not overall, but like a first round pick for them. Combs says if Cole Strange is a bust, then the Patriots find a way to win 10 games because they are the Patriots. So with that being said, if Cole Strange is a bust, I think Bill Belichick is out as New England Patriots GM / head coach / owner, right? Just because we are going to see that, maybe it was Tom Brady the whole time carrying him along, right? So, I mean, obviously this was a huge stretch in the draft, and everybody was scratching their heads. Patriots fans on Twitter like, who is Cole Strange, right? So, yeah, I mean, with that, it is clear that Bill Belichick might be losing his touch just a little bit and reaching for such a pick. It is job costly, Wyatt. I mean, that could definitely cost you your job. Next comment in here says, if Cole Strange is a bust, then where to go? Then Strange was a 3. Oh, so he is saying that Strange is a 3-year process. Yeah, I mean, obviously you cannot deem a linebacker a bust, or not a linebacker, but a lineman a bust in the first year. But 3 years might be a stretch, so I'd give it 2 years.
Deem anybody a bust in the first year. I hate that term, bust. I don't think they're a bust until they retire and you had no clue they retired. That's when you know if they're a bust. If you look at the retirements list at the end of the season, you're like, oh, he retired.
Most busts don't retire. They just don't get picked up again ever. They get cut and they're bagging groceries,
Yeah.
So, I mean,
pretty much.
There are many busts out there. Ryan Leaf. Did you know Ryan Leaf left the league? No, he definitely didn't retire. He ended up in jail, like stealing cocaine from his mom or something. It was like weird. Combs says Belichick turns water into wine. Strange will be rookie of the year. Whoa. Strange rookie of the year? I don't think he even starts.
Combs, Brandon, BC, Beastie, Combs, Meatball.
We'll call him tomorrow. We'll get Combs on the phone tomorrow, and we'll talk about it.
Combs, I refuse to ever do this show again unless if you come on this show tomorrow and talk to us about the nonsense that has been spewing out of your text fingers. Yeah. What are you talking? Combs, I thought Buck was the one that said this crap. I mean, I thought that Buck was the one that comes out of nowhere with all Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, the most overrated quarterbacks in the league. I thought that Buck was the only one who was doing that crap. Now I thought we were together on this. That's we don't agree about our teams, but I thought that's the one thing that we agree on is that Buck is the one who says the crazy stuff.
It's not crazy. It's facts. It's facts coming out of my mouth. Drew says Penny Sewell was a bust. He wasn't a bust. He had a pretty good year.
No. Penny Sewell had a good year.
Yeah, he had a pretty good year. Anyways,
I'm still losing it over the stuff Combs has said in the last 5 minutes. My brain can't process this.
All right, guys, we are up against the next break here. On the other side of the break, we're playing that game Weddle. Wyatt, for the people that don't know who Weddle is, tell them about it, bub.
Weddle is basically just like Wordle, the game everybody plays on their phone now, and it's just that, but with NFL people. So it's Weddle, Eric Weddle's last name, just a play on words for that, and you get 8 guesses on easy mode, 10 guesses on hard mode, and you just go until you guess the player. If you get it a certain thing that you're guessing correctly, let's say, the player that you guess has the correct age of 25, or the 25 lights up green. If it's within 2, then it lights up yellow, and yeah. Pretty much just Wordle, but with NFL.
All right, guys. So we're playing that after the break here. We'll be right back after this message from Bucks Underpants. We'll be back.
Liking this matchup more. I give a slight edge, Mike, to Marquette because they're playing on their home court. And Marquette's been taking care of business on the road. Are you ready for the best damn radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up. Station not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're out the dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzz beaters. We coming live all through your speakers. Go.
You're watching Man Hour. Hit that like button, baby!
Man Hour Nation, it's your boy BC Beastie Brandon Combs coming to you with a special message. 22 veterans a day commit suicide. Now, that's 22 too many. And here at the Man Hour, we want to bring awareness to this. Our brothers and sisters deserve our support and our help. With the Take 22 merch, it's a small opportunity to show our appreciation and support to our veterans and take a small step to ending veteran suicide and treating PTSD properly. Every dollar spent on our Take 22 merch will be donated to the cause. So Man Hour Nation, rise up and show your
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckheiser along with my man Wyatt Williams. And Combs, you are right. That music is brutal for the Take 22 merch. I have been reworking some stuff, but I haven't uploaded them yet. My hat's all weird. Fix that, baby. There you go. There you go. All right, Wyatt. So we have that game called Weddle, just like a play on Wordle. So Wyatt is going to share his screen with us, and we all can play together, guys. So last night, the hard was pretty hard. It took me a lot of brain power to figure it out, and quite frankly, I was getting pissed off. I
had to defend my ears with my life today to not figure out what this is. But I will say, I was told from my friends today that we should get both.
We got both last night. Of course, we're going to get. Do you know who you're talking to, my man?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
They're saying we should get it. So
all
right, are you ready to hop in this?
I'm trying to fix the screen, but for some reason it was being all wonky. I don't know. Just give me a second here, Wyatt. Let me get the screen all figured out. Sheesh. You would think an IT guy would check before, stuff like this happened, but I don't even know what's going on right now. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. There it is. There, we figured it out. All right, go ahead.
All right. Ready?
We're ready. All right, guys, be sure to play along in the chat, if you guys can see the screen. I think everybody can see the screen, right? Everybody should be good. Let me spread it up. Let me get a little bit bigger. There we go. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so first player, who we starting with?
Patrick Mahomes is your go-to guy. First, yeah.
That's always my go-to guy to start with. So let's start there. Okay, wow. That's tough. That did not work out much for us, except for we do know he's young. So he has to be either rookie or first or second year.
Yeah.
Because he's 26 or he's 23 or below.
Yeah. And he's not a
So
quarterback.
he's got to be young.
He's short.
He's not a quarterback, and he's got to be 6'2 or 6'1. And he's
That's
an
what
NFC
she said.
player. And his number is above 15. So
let's think of a rookie running back
a rookie running back
in the NFC.
I don't know if it'll be rookies that just got drafted though.
Well,
probably
yeah,
have to
no.
look
Well,
at,
so it'll be second year guys, right? So
Yeah.
rookies in 2021, like that's what I meant. NFC running back is Rojo. Like, how many years was Rojo in the league before he got?
Rojo's older. Rojo's like 26 right now.
Okay, so he is out, right?
Yeah, he's probably out. Leonard Fournette's probably out. I'm trying to think NFC running backs here. Aaron Jones is out. You want to try DeAndre Swift? DeAndre Swift is pretty short too.
Yeah, there you go.
And he's an NFC running back. You want to try that?
Let's do it.
Oh,
All right, so it's the NFC
okay,
North.
So he's a
23
wide
years old.
receiver. He's
Yep.
got to be a wide receiver then. There's
Yep.
no way he's a tight end. NFC North. He's a little taller. No, it's Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson. Yeah, let's try it.
Gotta be.
That's a good one. People in the chat were saying Cam Akers and Eric Stokes.
Oh!
There we go. Justin Jefferson was the answer. Wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. 23 years old, number 18. How tall is he? Can you see the stats?
Yeah. 6'1".
6'1", 23 years old, number 18. That's a good one. All right, now we're ready for hard. So guys, hard is everybody on an NFL team. Linemen, kickers, punt returners, right? All that good stuff. This one's pretty difficult because, let's be honest, who knows everybody linemen, right?
Right. So let's start. Is it defense? It's probably defense. It's probably gonna be defense on this one. So do you want to start with a defender?
Sure, that's fine. You
Let's
pick it.
like okay, let's think of like a middle-aged defender.
Middle-aged
NFL
defender.
age. Middle NFL age.
It's probably going to be AFC, right? Because that's how they did it last night. AFC on one and NFC on the other way.
You want to go Darius Leonard?
Darius Leonard's a good one. Yep. So Damian knows. So on the easy mode, it is strictly offense. It is quarterback, receiver, tight end, and running back. In hard mode, which we're doing right now, it's literally anybody on a team. So Wyatt's first guess was Darius Winner. So
we are so close. So he's not a Colt, so he is either a Jaguar, Titan, or Texan.
Right.
And he's not a linebacker. He's exactly 6'2", so he's probably too tall, in my opinion, to be a corner. Maybe he's a corner. He's a tall corner. And he's super young, too.
Yeah.
He's either 24 or 25.
And his number's below 53, so he's probably a safety or a corner, just like what you said, right? Although numbers are all mixed up now, anyways. Yeah. So Damien says the Honey Badger. Well, the Honey Badger doesn't play in the AFC South, so he would be out, I think. So
we got to go with. So Texans. I don't think. No, let's not go with this.
My guess would be Justin Reed, but because he was with the Houston Texans, right? But I don't know if he's popped up on the Chiefs now or like or not.
I'm not sure either. I don't know. Let's see. So then there's the Titans. Who are the Titans? Young defenders. And then Jaguars, young defenders.
Mm-hmm.
Do they get
Miles Jack is a linebacker, isn't he?
But he's with the Steelers now.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, true.
He just went to the Steelers.
Yeah, they cut him, didn't they? That was dumb. That was the stupidest thing they could have done ever.
Jacksonville, baby. Jacksonville. All right.
Yeah. I'm kind of drawing a blank right now, so I'm relying on you, buddy.
I know, me too. Is it C.J. Ferguson that was a cornerback for Florida and got drafted to the Jags a couple years? C.J. Henderson?
Honestly, I don't know. Henderson? But I think there is a Henderson for the Jaguars, but I don't know if it's a C.J. Henderson.
Am I thinking of the right? C.J. Henderson, was he?
Try it. You got like 10 guesses, right?
Well, I don't know if he. I think he might play for. I think he plays for the Panthers.
That's who. That's what they're saying in the chat. C.J. Henderson.
They're saying C.J. Henderson. Okay.
Yeah, let's try it.
Nah, he plays for. Dang it, he plays.
Yeah. So C.J. Henderson does play for Carolina. So
he's.
It's not a cornerback. He's 6'2". He's 25 or 24 years old. And his number is less than 15. So is there let's think of a safety that's number 7. Like, is there a number 7 safety in the AFC South?
I don't know off the top of my head. Let's see. So I like thinking of the teams and just trying to go from there. So yeah. I don't think it's the Texans. I really just don't. I could be totally wrong, but I just got a feeling it's not the Texans. I think it's either Jacksonville, which I really think it might be the Titans. Is who I'm leaning toward here. You want to go with Kevin Byard?
Yeah.
Just to start narrowing down the team?
Yeah.
Okay, he is a safety. And he plays for either the Jaguars or the Texans.
Yeah.
And let's see.
The only safety I can think of is Justin Reed, and we all know he plays for Kansas City Chiefs now. So I'm kind of shooting in the dark. Not gonna lie.
Me too. This hard mode is tough. It really is at times. But at least we got it down to the position. We got the height, and it's down to 2 teams. And the numbers their ages between 24 and 25.
So
should we try Justin Reed just to see if Justin is listed still for them?
Sure.
Well, I don't know. I don't
so if I remember correctly, the Houston Texans safeties last year were Reed and a guy named Murphy. Was it Murphy or Martin? Murphy, I think it is. So try Murphy. Murphy.
What's his first name?
I'm trying to think. I don't know.
It's not Byron Murphy.
No, it's not Murphy. It's Murray.
Bill Murray. Let's see here.
Was it Eric Murray? Is that his? Eric Murray?
I don't know. It's Eric Murray.
Damien says Andrew Wingard. Try Eric Murray.
Okay. Oh, so he was the Houston safety. Okay. So
it's a Titan. No, so it's a Jaguar safety.
Or a Jaguar. Yeah, it's a Jaguar.
Jaguar
so it's a Jaguar safety.
Yeah.
And that is gosh. Jaguars safety. I just wish I knew like with the age and stuff like that too.
Well, I guess Josh Norman isn't that old, right?
We should probably charge. Let's try. You want to try Andrew Wingard?
Yeah.
He is a safety for them.
For the Jaguars?
Yes.
Okay. Do it.
Okay, and we got the age too. All right, and we got 5 guesses left. We still got plenty of guesses. We've got the team now. Right? Wait.
No, we don't got the team. So how is it AFC South, but it's not a Jaguar, a Texan, a Titan, or a Colt?
Oh my god.
How is that possible?
I'm realizing it right now. They don't play in the AFC South.
Oh, they don't play in the AFC South. Oh my god, Wyatt. Oh man.
Dude, we've just wasted so much time.
So it is the AFC North, East, or West guy. Okay.
Oh my gosh. We have 5 guesses.
And it is a safety.
Jesse Bates. You want to try it?
Yeah. All right, so it's not an AFC North guy either.
Oh, no.
So it's AFC East or
AFC.
West.
I'm so sorry. I've royally screwed us out.
Is it Justin Reed? Put Justin Reed in there.
Is it Justin Reed? Ooh, they're in AFC West.
Okay.
Is it Derwin James? What a recovery.
There we Oh, man.
What a recovery.
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
That was tough. Why?
That was-
You had me thinking. I'm like, Jaguars, I don't think I know any Jaguars defensive players besides Miles Jack, and he's gone.
I was struggling too. I was like, oh my God. And then I remembered Wingard because somebody said it. And then I was like, oh yeah, Wingard did play for them. Oh man, what a recovery to a Derwin James.
Man.
We used 1, 2, 3. We got that in 4 guesses. Technically, if you don't count the 3 stupid guesses that I had us going off on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough. Okay,
so people are asking like how this works. So Damien, so it could not be in the NFC South. So our first guess in the division it put AFC South as a gold one. So that means it is in the AFC, but they're not in the South. So that technically narrowed it down to the AFC North, East, and West, right? So, so it ultimately being a AFC West player, Derwin James for the LA Chargers, 6'2", safety, number 25 or age 25, and number 3. Number 3 is the worst safety number ever. Why? I'm just going to throw that out there.
I thought he was like number 22. When did he change to 3?
Probably when they said, "Hey, you can have any number you want."
This is why they didn't let guys choose their numbers. That's why, because only quarterbacks should wear 3.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Well, look at that, man.
One Pride 40 said Chiefs had the best draft. We'll be talking about the Chiefs tomorrow, One Pride 40. But right now, we're going to be talking about AFC South. Wyatt, are you ready to break down some AFC South draft grades? We wasted a lot of time on that. Thanks to you, Mr. Bonehead. But anyways, guys, let's jump into our draft grades here, and we are going to start with the Indianapolis Colts. They missed the playoffs. How they do it in the draft?
Well, I thought overall they did pretty solid on the draft. They covered a lot of needs that they had. I really like the picks from round 1 to 2. I thought they did really good. Alec Pierce, wide receiver out of Cincinnati. I think he's going to work really well. He does it all. He can be a slot wide receiver for you, a deep threat. So pairing him with Matty Ice is going to be really fun to watch. And Jelani Woods, who could be the best receiving tight end in this draft. He's the fastest tight end per the combine, I believe. But he's just a freak athlete. He's a really, really fast and athletic tight end who can move all over the field. You can throw him the ball. He can go up and get it. So I really like Jelani Woods. Bernard Raymond, another guy, offensive tackle. This draft was just simply stacked with offensive linemen. And Raymond is another one of those guys. They got a third rounder who could end up being eventually a starter. I mean, if we look back, the Colts offensive line has always been awesome. They've always been incredible. And even now they're still incredible. So he's coming into an offensive line room where he's only going to grow and get better. That's it. And if he doesn't, then he'll be on his way and they won't have him anymore. So then they got Nick Cross. Nick Cross, a good safety, adds to their defense. And then same with the rest of the list here. Eric Johnson, another just a good defensive tackle. Same with Curtis Brooks, just adding some of that depth there at that defensive tackle position, as well as Ogletree at the tight end position. Jack Doyle is starting to get older, and they needed to fill up that tight end room with some youth. So they did just that. And then also Rodney Thomas, defensive back out of Yale. Once again, he can play safety or corner for you. So he's an exciting player. I'm really excited to see what he does with this defense too. He's a late round guy that I think could actually have an impact pretty early. So overall, I thought they did a really good job. Their best pick for me is Bernard Raymond in the 77th pick in the 3rd round, offensive tackle out of Central Michigan. And their overall draft grade for me was a B.
A B. That is a solid. That's a solid B. I mean, hopefully Matty Ice can definitely turn around the chip a little bit in Indy and right the ship a tad bit here. But speaking of righting the ship here, the Houston Texans definitely needed to right the ship. They obviously lost Deshaun Watson to a trade to the Cleveland Browns there, and who knows whether they're coming or going, if they're going to hire some more massage therapists. But why? How did the Houston Texans do in this year's draft?
Well, the Houston Texans, get here to my notes, I'm at the wrong spot. Here we go. The Houston Texans, with the first round, I thought they did pretty good. I really was impressed with their first round. They got Stingley with the 3rd overall pick, who was a guy who all last year was a projected top 5 pick. Then this last year, he didn't have the year at least that Sauce Gardner had. So a lot of people thought that he would fall because of that, and Sauce would be that guy at number 3. But it's just like the offensive tackle situation with Icky and Evan Neal. You can go Stingley, and you could go Sauce Gardner. I personally would have went Sauce Gardner, but still, they're going to get a really good cornerback who's going to be in the league for a long time and is going to be a very successful guy. Also in the first round, they got Kenyon Green, offensive lineman out of Texas A&M. This was a little surprising for everybody, but yet again, another guy who is capable of being a first-round lineman and a guy who can come in and start to work on an offensive line that needs a lot of help, but has some pieces in Laramie Tunsil there. So they just need a little more added to it, and then they'll be on their way. As well as Jalen Peter out of Baylor, nice defensive back for them, as well as also in the second round. This is my sleeper pick for the draft, is John Mechie, the 3rd wide receiver of Alabama. He's a guy. He's fast. He's athletic. He can go up and get the ball. He can run around you. He can go through you. He's just a really good wide receiver and a guy who I thought should have been a late first-round guy, but he ended up falling to the second. So, hey, hats off to the Texans for being able to snatch him up in the mid-second round, too, at that. And, yeah, they also got another Alabama player after that, and Christian Harris, linebacker. You can't go wrong with getting an SEC defensive player, especially once you get to the 3rd round, because at that point, it's just the best player on the board that fits the holes that you need, and Harris fits that. So thought they did a great job there with Harris, as well as Damian Pierce, running back out of Florida. That running back group is not – there just wasn't really a solid stick-out guy there. In the last – in the last 20 years, they've always had a guy. Arian Foster was great for them. Lamar Miller was really good for them for a while. So they're really just trying to nail down this running back position, and Damian Pierce in the 4th round is a nice way to start. It's a really good way to start. Then after that, they got Thomas Booker, defensive tackle out of Stanford, and Tegan Quitoriano. I can't say his last name very well, tight end out of Oregon State. So overall, solid round 5, and then round 6 to wrap it all up. They got Austin DeCulis, offensive lineman out of LSU. Once again, just they needed to pad onto that offensive line. It's got some pieces, but it needed just a little bit more. So they did that. They padded onto their offensive line, got some of the guys that they needed. So with that being said, their best pick for me was round 2, pick 44, John Mechie III, wide receiver out of Alabama. And their overall draft grade for me was a B+. Best in their division as well.
All right, and One Pride 40 has them at a C+, B- frame, so you guys are a little bit different there. So, I do love some differency picks there, but the Houston Texans needed to nail this draft to have a good season this year, and with a B+, C+ draft grade, I'm not for sure how good their season is going to be. They definitely need to get a A+. So moving on down into the AFC South here, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. They obviously had the number 1 overall pick last season. They drafted Trevor Lawrence. Didn't do too hot, so they had a pretty good pick this season as well. But how did they draft this year?
Well, first off, I was incorrect. As I was scrolling through my notes going to Jacksonville, I looked, and I did not give the Texans my best draft grade, and I certainly didn't give it to the Jacksonville Jaguars either. The Jacksonville Jaguars do things that make me wonder how they are still a franchise. They do stuff sometimes that I'm just like, yeah, how? What? Christian Kirk for $80 million, you inflated the entire wide receiver market and screwed everybody else, and you got a wide receiver 2 for wide receiver 1, Pro Bowl wide receiver 1, no, for price like that. They paid way too much. Christian Kirk is the 4th highest paid wide receiver in the league right now. Yep. That is crazy. I don't believe that. That should not exist. So, anyways, on to their round 1 picks. They took the 4th best defensive end in the draft at pick 1. Trayvon Walker, though, was good. He didn't have the sacks that everybody was looking for with his tape, like Thibodeau did and like Aiden Hutchinson did. He didn't really have a lot of those numbers. He was just an impact guy off of the edge who is really kind of a run stopper and a contained defensive end. So, with that being said, like I said, they got the 4th best defensive end at the round 1 pick 1 spot. So it's just I was really kind of confused, but at the same time, I did kind of understand it because they couldn't take Hutchinson. That was up to greater powers. I don't know if Hutchinson went to them and was like, listen, I'm going to Detroit. I'm not playing for you. But I think there was a possibility that a conversation like that happened behind closed doors. So with that being said, they go with Trayvon Walker with the 1st overall pick. And I just wasn't really that impressed. I wasn't. I thought there were 3 other defensive ends who were better at that spot. Will he come in and be an impact guy day 1, and will he start? Absolutely. I really do think that, and I think that he could have a long career ahead of him and all that. But I don't think that was the right spot for Trayvon Walker. With that being said, at the end of round 1, they got Devin Lloyd, linebacker out of Utah. On the other hand, this pick was really good. I like the Devin Lloyd pick. He's a great linebacker out of Utah and a guy who, like last year with Zaven Collins, just didn't get the right publicity that he needed and just kind of fell in the draft. And I always thought he was better than what people gave him credit for. Same here with Devin Lloyd. So Devin Lloyd, I like how they closed out the 1st round, and I like how they started the 2nd round as well. With the 3rd round with Luke Fortner, center out of Kentucky, nice offensive lineman who's going to be a day 1 impact guy for them as well. And they got him in the 3rd round, so you can't go wrong with that. This is where I get a little shaky, though, from here on. Chad Mumma, linebacker out of Wyoming. I wasn't a big fan. A lot of people are really in the hype on him, and especially for, a lot of people say that Mumma to Duval County was the best player team fits in the entire draft, or one of them. I don't think it will be. I could be totally wrong, but I'm just not not biting on their draft at all. And same with Snoop Connor, running back out of Ole Miss. I think they've already got enough running backs. I don't think that they didn't need to get one of these guys like Snoop Connor, who was just a depth guy. Then after that, they get Gregory Jr. He went to Wichita Baptist. I don't even know where that is. But Gregory Jr. in the 6th round, I thought that, Then they went with a cornerback as well in the 7th round. They did need some cornerback depth, but overall, I just really wasn't a big fan of their draft. And their best pick for me was Devin Lloyd at round 1, pick 27. And on their overall draft grade, I didn't give them too bad of a grade. I still gave them a C+, but I wasn't really biting on this one.
Yeah, you seem to be very generous with the grades here tonight, Wyatt, because 1.40 give the Jags a D. So that's a very, very failing grade at that point. And Wichita Falls, Wyatt, is in Texas. So, there might be Wichita Falls elsewhere, but I believe that Baptist is in Texas. So Wichita Falls, Texas.
What you know about that Wichita, Kansas?
It's about 3 hours away. Shocker Nation, baby. They do have a wheat guy. He's a shocker, has a piece of wheat in his mascot there. I'm actually a Wichita State guy. Like, I like Wichita.
Yeah, everybody's a Wichita State guy.
Shocker Nation, baby. Shocker Nation.
Shocker
2
Nation.
in the pink, 1 in the stink, grip it like a bowling ball and roll it down the street.
You can't say that. You can't say that.
Oh, I can't. Oh, my bad. Can I rewind it? I'll just edit it. Anyways, speaking of editing, Ryan Tannehill wish he could have edited some of his comments post draft about their particular draft pick. But why? How did the Tennessee Titans do in this year's draft?
Well, basically with round 1, pick 1, they traded away AJ Brown and drafted an unproven and unleague tested AJ Brown and Treylon Burks. So right there off the bat, I was kind of scratching my head. I did not expect AJ Brown to even possibly be moved. I have 2 friends, Ryan and Carlos, who are big Tennessee Titans fans. They were over here for the draft. And Carlos just went silent for probably 5 to 6 minutes. He just didn't say anything because he was just so in shock that they moved A.J. Brown and nobody expected it. So, and then they decided to pick Treylon Burks, which Treylon Burks is a good wide receiver, and I think he's going to have a good NFL career, but he's not A.J. Brown, at least yet. So I was just really confused on that. And if you even look in, they played a video in the war room of the owner kind of celebrating the trade and the pick of Treylon Burks. And you just see Mike Vrabel in the back, like hand on head, looks so mad. He was not a big fan of this move by them. So after that, then they get Roger McCreary, cornerback out of Auburn. And I like this pick, adds to their defense. And I think McCreary is going to be a good cornerback who really kind of fell and a lot of people weren't really looking at a lot. And I think he had a really good career at Auburn. So he's going to be a day one impact guy for them. Round 3, the Tennessee Titans hit it out of the park. I mean, absolutely annihilated it. It was incredible. Their third round was so good, it's unfair. First off, at pick 69, they got Nicholas Petit-Frere, offensive tackle out of Ohio State. And we can even ask our guys then, Petit-Frere is a beast. He is a beast. He's a great offensive lineman, and he's going to pair so nicely on the other side of this offensive line with Taylor Lewan. So right there, automatically, they're off to a good start. So then at round 3, pick 86, they get the best quarterback in this draft. You heard me. The best, capital T-H-E, the best. D. Wyatt Williams says that Malik Williams is the best quarterback in this draft. He is. Round 3, pick 86, they get the best quarterback in the draft. It's that simple. I don't need to say anything else. His deep ball is cheese. It is easy like Sunday morning. It's something of just, I don't even know. It's beautiful to watch. It's poetic. It's incredible. And he does it with such ease. He flicks his wrist and the ball goes, 60 yards down the field and is on a dot, exactly where it needs to be. And on top of that, he's got the mobility to be able to scramble and pick up yards that way. He's not a liability because he's a mobile quarterback that can't throw like most mobile quarterbacks in the NFL. He's got an arm. He's really, really got an arm. He's got that 13-3 Lamar Jackson arm that everybody was like, oh, can Lamar Jackson work it out? Malik Willis has already got that arm. He's already there. He's already established it. And on top of that, he's got the mobility of, I would say, Kyler Murray. So I think he's going to be great. I think that the Tennessee Titans were geniuses for being able to select him in the third round. I mean, Ryan Tannehill's already on his way out, and his stupid comments probably got him 1 year less in Tennessee. Whenever he's gone, Tennessee is going to have a good quarterback. They're going to have a good quarterback to rely and sit back with. I wouldn't even be that surprised if Tannehill comes out this year and plays terribly and they just throw Malik Willis in. They're like, hey, look, it's time. Just go do your thing. So I will say, for them to be able to get the best quarterback in the draft at round 3, pick 86, and a guy who I think will be in the league for a long time, that's huge. I mean, that's huge. So bang, that's huge right there. At round 4, Hassan Haskins, running back, Michigan, another guy who I think that will fill in nicely whenever Derrick Henry's not on the field. When he's on the field, though, I can promise you Haskins will not see a single snap. That's just not going to happen. Then I am going to botch this last name. Chigoziem Okonkwo. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he was a great tight end at Maryland, and I think he's going to pair really nicely with this offense. Since they lost Jonnu Smith 2 years ago, the tight end position for them really just kind of hasn't been the same since, and I think this could be a guy who walks in and is their tight end 1 from the start. I think he's really impressive. Once again, he's one of those guys, I'll tell you, go watch the tape. He's impressive. He's fun to watch play football. After that, Kyle Phillips in the 5th round at pick 163, wide receiver out of UCLA. This team was dying for wide receivers, especially after they let go of A.J. Brown for some weird reason. And they still haven't signed Julio back, so they were dying for wide receivers here, and they got Kyle Phillips as well in the 5th round. And then after that, we look down the list at round 6. 204 is the pick, Theo Jackson, cornerback out of Tennessee. And at 216, Chance Campbell, linebacker out of Ole Miss in the 6th round as well. No 7th round picks for this team. But overall, I thought they had the best draft in this division. I forgot that they were in this division earlier whenever I said that that the Texans had the best draft. I was wrong. I was 100% wrong whenever I said that. I was incorrect. And it's so hard to pick the best pick here because pretty much from round 2 to round 4, every pick really just is a good pick. It's a great pick. Round 3, like I said, the best pick here has to go to one of the third rounders, and I'm going to give it to Malik Willis because I think they solved their quarterback issue going forward with that, and they solved it with a third rounder. They only got to pay him $5 million a year. If he would have went in the first round and the top 10 like he was projected, possibly even top 5, he would be making $30 million a year.
Right.
I mean, it's, so for them to be able to get him for 5, a fraction of the cost, and they'll have him for 4 years and then a 5th-year option, which in the 5th-year option, if they did keep him, they'd have to pay him top 10 quarterback money. But for 4 years, this guy could be your starter possibly, and you're going to pay him $5 million a year.
Wow. You have no Ryan Tannehill love right now, which is kind of a disgrace because Ryan Tannehill just gets better and better and better. He's overlooked just like Derek Carr is, right?
No, Ryan Tannehill has had a great career, and I've always been a big supporter of him. But Ryan Tannehill is at that point in his career where it's like he's at the peak, and he's like on the roller coaster. He's tipping. It's going down from here, and I think he's going to go down fast. I really do. I think that we've got 1, 2, maybe 3 more years of Ryan Tannehill being as good as he's been the last couple of years, if that. And I don't think he sticks in Tennessee. I think he's going to be good elsewhere, especially, like I said, especially after those comments. It's just like,
right.
It's so ignorant. I hate when quarterbacks act like that. It's so stupid. Why would you like when you came in and you were a rookie, put yourself in this guy's shoes,
Exactly.
If you're coming in, you were supposed to be a first round pick. You just got, you got skipped on through the entire first round, through the entire second round, and most of the third round, you just get skipped on. Every single time, you're just watching your name fall and fall and fall and fall. And, the first thing that you say after this guy's already been punched in the nuts 37 times in the last 2 days, the first thing you say when he enters your franchise is not, "Oh, hey, welcome in." It's, "I'm not mentoring this guy." Yeah. That's so selfish. That's so selfish. Why would you not want to help somebody out if they need the help? When Ryan Tannehill was a rookie, he needed help. Yeah. He needed a lot of help. Well, and he got the help he needed.
Well, let's just say he was in a quote dark place and he had to go see a therapist, right? But whatever, that's right. Here nor there. So why with all those draft grades, we at the end we give you a too early prediction. So who is going to win the too early prediction of the AFC South?
Oh, and this is the division that I think is completely up for grabs for 2, possibly 3 teams. And I don't know if the Texans or Jaguars will have a shot at it. I need to see how they start the season out before I can tell you if they're going to have any kind of a shot. But at this moment, it's completely between the Tennessee Titans and the Colts, in which it's so hard to win this division twice, and the Titans just won it. So, and they just got rid of A.J. Brown, and they don't have Julio, and they've got drama going on in the locker room. So with that being said, the Indianapolis Colts just got Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan is a dominant quarterback. His stats still haven't dipped. I mean, even look at the stats from last year. They might have, they might have won only 5 or 6 games, but that's because Matt Ryan, his wide receiver, was too busy gambling and not paying attention to football.
Allegedly.
His running back room basically was non-existent. His offensive line basically was non-existent. His defense was non-existent. His owner can't decide which head coach he likes and doesn't like, and his head coach can't stay there after Dan Quinn, pretty much. So he got out of a bad situation, in which a situation that I can't even believe he said this the other day. He wanted to stay in. He wanted to stay in Atlanta, but they obviously went in a different direction. So they did. I don't know why. And so Indianapolis ended up with a A- quarterback, and now they don't have to worry about anything else. So they're going to have a 5th different quarterback in the last couple of years. It's going to be just like it was whenever Phil Rivers came in. I think they're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to be a good team. So with that being said, my pick for the AFC South is going to be the Indianapolis Colts. I think they did a really good job in the draft as well.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on everything that you just said. Matt Ryan is going to play a chip on his shoulder all season long, and I think he has something to prove. Like, hey, Atlanta, you didn't want me, so I'm going to go and take the Colts to the Super Bowl or at least the playoffs and like win a lot of games. So yeah, I mean, this is the Colts division to lose because you were just talking about that. Talking about that teeter-totter, the roller coaster with like Ryan Tannehill. Guess who else is on that roller coaster there, Wyatt? Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's on that roller coaster too. So I mean, what he's in his 6th year, right? And running back life, that is like 80 years old. So I do like Derrick Henry. I'm not trying to dog him, but the facts are the facts that running back shelf life is very, very short. So this is definitely the Colts division to lose, I feel. And, I think they run away with it. Hell, I think they might lock it up like week 15. So, like, I feel like they're going to be that dominant this season. But that takes us up to the end of the show here. We got a couple minutes left here. I do know that you are recording a show after this. Tell the people what that is all about, man.
Well, we were supposed to record it after, but I'm not sure if we're recording it after yet. So we'll probably record it tomorrow night after. But that show, On the Court in the Booth, it's me and Purdue forward Trey Kaufman-Renn. And we pretty much just talk about life, basketball, and funny stuff. That's about it, I'd say. But yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys don't remember Trey, we've had him on the show several times, talking basketball and just life in general. Trey's a very good young individual. Per his Instagram pictures, Wyatt, it looks like he's put on about 15 pounds too. Like he's looking pretty thick, and I feel he is going to have a great freshman season at Purdue because he redshirted, and it was kind of a shock to me that he chose he asked to be redshirted from my understanding, right? Like he asked.
Yeah, no, it was a shock to a lot of people. I even think it was a shock to him a little bit, but I love the decision. He wasn't 100% ready in his own eyes, and he decided to take a step back and not be selfish and do what was best for himself and his team going forward. So yeah, I think he made a great move deciding to do that. Now he's 100%, and I'll share this with the Man Hour Nation. He told me the other day, he was like, Wyatt, I think it's just going to be 1 year. And I was like, 1 year? Like 1 year in college and on? He's like, yeah, I feel really confident right now. I feel really good. So he's doing great things. He's doing incredible things, and I'm really proud of him, really happy for him, and can't wait to see him wearing a NBA hat on draft night.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really exciting, and I'm definitely going to be watching a lot of NBA when he does make it up there. He's a great young kid and seeing a lot of growth from him over the last five years. And that'd be good for you having a NBA host on your show there for On and Off the Court. So
yeah, there you go.